Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Learn with Kush. In this video lecture, we are going to focus on part 2 of the novella Jonathan Livingston Seagull, written by Richard Bach. Now, speaking about part 1, we saw that Jonathan was an ambitious seagull who was very different from the other seagulls in the flock, by which, as a result, he was declared an outcast bird who was forced to live alone in the nearby cliffs. Now, one day when he was practicing flying, he met two birds. And there our part 2 begins. Now, if you want a brief explanation of the summary, do visit the link which is given in the description and you can find the part 1 summary over there. Now, moving to the part 2, after reaching the heaven, Jonathan could feel changes in his body and he was able to recognize that he was able to fly in a far more better manner than he could before. Now, we saw that there were two birds with him. Now, speaking about the birds, one was Sullivan, who was the teacher of Jonathan, and another was the senior-most gull. His name is Xiang. Now, speaking about Sullivan, Sullivan was his instructor who saw Jonathan's unstoppable desire to learn the aerodynamic skills of flying higher and swifter. Sullivan discovered that Jonathan was one in the million bird. As the days passed, Jonathan was able to practice new techniques of flying and also met many other seagulls in the heaven who were equally in love with their flying skills and learning the new techniques of flying as Jonathan did. One evening, Xiang, the senior-most elder seagull, who was also an instructor, asked about heaven to everyone, and he himself answered to his question that heaven is not a place, it is a feeling inside you, where you can be perfect. He tried to explain everyone that if anyone doesn't believe in being perfect, they can reach nowhere. But if someone tries to be perfect, they can go anywhere in their life. Jonathan was impressed by Xiang's word and asked Xiang to teach him the lessons of flying, and that was the beginning of his learning skills towards perfection in his flight. Xiang wanted Jonathan to know that the most important thing is to realize that you are already at your destination before you reach, forgetting all about the physical body and the speed that you have. You have to understand that you are the infinite being who can travel anywhere. Now, Jonathan realized the truth of freedom, control, love, and other skills. After teaching Jonathan all the techniques of flying, Xiang vanished. Now, Jonathan decided to express his love by teaching the other girls the techniques of flying which he had learned from Xiang, as Xiang told that one can be able to understand love only if they are perfect and teach others what they have achieved. And as he was flying and practicing his learning skills of flying, he got to meet another bird named Fletcher Seagull, who was outcasted in the similar manner as Jonathan. Now, as Fletcher was flying in the sky, he heard a voice from behind, a voice asking him about learning the skills of flying. He responds yes, to learn from Jonathan, as he had never seen such a beautiful seagull before. And from here, Jonathan started giving lessons to Fletcher. And here we have covered the summary of part 2. Now we will cover the part 3 summary. In the part 3 of the novella Jonathan the Livingston Seagull, written by Richard Bach, we would see that Jonathan observed that Fletcher was a very good student. He was making mistakes, which was minor mistake, but also he was learning from each and every mistake that he made. And Jonathan continued his lessons for Fletcher. As the days passed, gradually 6 more seagulls joined Fletcher and Jonathan, as they were also declared an outcast birds. And after a month later, Jonathan completed his lessons and instructed the student seagulls to go back to their flock and also teach the flock the lessons of flying. The seagulls were not ready to go back to their flock as they were declared outcasted by them. But Jonathan explained them not to think in negative manner and instead make others like them who can live their dreams. The gulls now had to listen to Jonathan's words and all went back to their flocks. When they were flying back to their flock, watching them flying, the seagulls in the flock were amazed, and the younger gulls which were present in the flock were inspired by them and thought they should also learn flying. But the leaders of the flock warned everyone not to speak and mingle with the gulls flying and ignore them. Now, as it was the instruction of the traditional-minded leader seagulls, every gulls which were present in the flock had to listen to the leader's words and they tried to ignore the gulls which were flying above the sea. But here, Jonathan also used his clever mind and just focused on giving lessons to his 7th student girl in front of the flock. He didn't try to convince any of the girls in the flock. And slowly, watching them flying above the sea, many girls, the younger girls which were present in the flock below, tried to join them. They were motivated and joined Jonathan and his group of students to take lessons of flying from Jonathan. And after a month later, while Jonathan was giving lessons to Fletcher, his body observed a slow change and started to shine. And its shine was very bright that no one was able to look at him. And he also vanished as Xiang did. But before vanishing, he also told Fletcher the same thing as Xiang told to Jonathan before vanishing, that Fletcher should understand love and only then he can move ahead. Only the one who understands the meaning of love can move ahead. Now Jonathan set Fletcher to go back to the flock and teach the other seagulls the flying skills, and now he was well versed at this skill. Now Fletcher went back to the girls which were learning flying, and now he was in position of Jonathan, who was an instructor teaching everyone the techniques of flying. He thought that he would now move ahead as Jonathan did, and one day he would meet Jonathan again, and he felt love for his student. He decided to teach them each and everything which he had learned from Jonathan. And this is the end of part 3 of this novella. Now speaking about the 3 most important lessons that we learned from the story of the novella Jonathan Livingston Seagull written by Richard Bach are: first one, the society doesn't want you to think different or to be different, because if you be different, as you saw in the novella, Jonathan was very ambitious and he loved flying, but the ordinary work of the seagulls was eating and searching for the food. So as he was different, he was declared as an outcast. In the same way, in human life, we have to follow the societal norms, and if we try to cross our limits or follow our dreams, then we are differentiated or criticized for being different. Part second of the lesson is, don't be afraid to shine, because many people hide their talents because they don't have courage to be as they are. They want to mingle with everyone in the society. They don't want to accept that they are different. So you should have courage to shine in your own way and inspire others by being your best version. And part 3 of the lesson, the third lesson which we get from this story is, when you achieve something, when you achieve your goals, when you achieve what you wanted to be, then teach others what you have learned. Teach others with humility so that you can learn as well as you can make others, by your teaching, a far more better person. And that is how you can understand the meaning of love, by expressing your love towards others. With this, we come to an end of the video lecture. I hope I was able to make it easy for you for a better understanding of part 2 and part 3 and the entire story of the Jonathan the Livingston Seagull written by Richard Bach. I would suggest you to go through the textbook and the novel for a brief overview. Also, if you liked my explanation, do like, comment the learning which you have gained from this inspirational story. Share it with your friends, family and elders, because it's an inspiring story. So I would suggest you to share it with each and everyone you know. And also subscribe my channel if you have not yet subscribed. We will meet you up in the upcoming video. Till then, take care, bye bye, kudos, and thank you for watching the video till the end.